So people have been wondering where I've been. I've been regenerating. You don't understand what that means? Then just listen to this. The wordplay, this that's the average man's vertebrae. Shout out to my 10 tribe partners, baby Morley. When we combine, they considering us a mass threat. Blacks, natives, Mayas, Incas, and the Aztecs. You think it's far-fetched? You got to be kidding me. These same niggas saying Santa's sliding down their chin. Look. When it comes to justice, they just ignore us. But watch everything we do through the eye of horror. This pitch for us where we at, but where they at is gorgeous. I'm setting flames to these churches with seeds of abortion. Got the duty of man, camp down in Georgia. Hold it down, keep the faith, the Most High is gonna reward you. I don't beef with my Hebrew peeps. I keep a cordial from a Trojan stock, and you not. Sucks to be you. Yeah, the number is significant. While Satan's running wild, I'm trying to focus on my discipline. Moving like a whirlwind, I'm fighting till the world wins. To understand what that means, it's Isaiah 45:17. Aristocrat genes, kings and queens, but these Edomites be pulling our strings. I cut the cords, mighty avoid the bull like a matador. But if it's beef, I got an army of carnivores. Ric Flair, figure four, doors up the hinge. I got the gird with the drip, and it's matching my friends. I'm not friendly. I was taught to prove a friend. I'm set apart and don't give a damn about trends or your timelines, your Bentley or your high rise. Detonate your enterprise that's full of lies. Pull up and stop and bust more shots. And when I do, it be a genocide like Pol Pot. And that's real history. Show me a white Jew, I'll solve the Bigfoot mystery. It's not happening. Stuck in a case of fatal attraction. Bold action with the words of the Lord when I be rapping. Catch your breath. Line your target up. People need you. Let's go. Cry loud. I cry loud. Yeah. You wreck like the TV. Heathens can't see me. You run just like ECs. Favorite candy Reese's. Read the KJV. Stocking up on ammo. I've been paranoid lately. SPLC. Got them hating on me. The verbal energy of our captors draining our energy. Yeah. That's why I got this Hennessy. To the 2/3, we gon' toast to your memory. Most definitely got the recipe. Expertly snatch the souls of my enemies. The rest be running like they centipedes. I keep the law, fear the Lord, solidify my legacy. Tranquilo, just let it be. You lost, trapped in a maze like Frank Beverly. Change the time like Pope Gregory. You want the truth? Say the word, we'll pull up at your residency. Valhalla, but more heavenly. End of the road, truth be told, we inherently are the chosen, north and south and the woven. Hit you with 10 like the rose. You know when mouth got your ears smoking. For me, I said, we live and die by the smoke. Matthew 19, verse 28. And Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which are called be in the new generation, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Shalom, shalom. Happy, blessed Day of Atonement to the 12 tribes scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. For those that are keeping the Day of Atonement beginning last night and today, blessed Day of Atonement to you. Hopefully everybody's doing well, holding in there, hanging in there, staying strong, staying focused. I pray that everybody's prayers are answered by the Most High and that his grace and mercies, man, is bestowed upon all of us, man. The Lord is long suffering. He's put up with a lot of our crap. And at the same time, he always opens up a door for repentance, man. So we got to give all praise to the Most High for that. Hopefully, everybody's, tuning in, and whether you're in the spirit or not of, keeping atonement today, and you're just tuning in, catching this next DSTM, shalom to you. To the brothers up in the Pacific Northwest, man, UZL, Malachi, shalom to y'all, man. Bayan, shalom to you. Appreciate y'all brothers tuning in, man. I just decided, man, to keep y'all company a little bit, man, while we out here, fasting and taking part in this Day of Atonement. And to anyone else who hasn't checked in, who hasn't tapped in, make sure you wipe your feet, man. You came on in here, just an impromptu DSTM. Just the Spirit told me, go on and go live, man, and share some of the things. I was, just doing a little bit of research earlier today, and I said, man, why not share it now than later? And, tap in with the fam. And keep everybody company, man, moving in the spirit because, uh, the scriptures let us know that the Day of Atonement is a convocation. So we're to be coming together, whether it's, in today's terms, virtually or physically. If you have the ability and you have a congregation that you're affiliated with, or you're with us and there's a place that you can come together, you're supposed to do that. So if you can't do it physically, then what do? We have to come together virtually. So, we did it last night, doing it again today, coming together. So all praise to the Most High for that, man. Shalom, Mashar. Let me just go ahead back and reflect on that scripture real quick with everybody, and we'll get to it. So there's a lot of things we're going to cover today, man. Disease X, that's next on the list. Remember, I remember covering some of the new plagues that was being announced, and Disease X was one of the ones that they had really no name for it as of yet. However, they're saying that this thing could be bigger, not even could be, is a more threatening plague than the previous one that we've dealt with. And remember yesterday I told you, and I've expressed this to a couple of other people, uh, with my job and with them talking about the exemptions and all that is going to be done away with. And I said that they're going to have to do something really big to convince everybody to go along with the plan. Because if you know what's happening right now, a lot of people ain't falling for the okie doke in regards to getting this next poke in the arm, ride along with the wave with regards to this next scandemic that's going on, man. This new variant, a scariant, as they're calling it, right now. So they're going to have to, shift the wheels a little bit and going to have to get people to buy into something bigger and greater, more threatening, more scary, to get people to fall in line. So this thing, Disease X, that they're talking about, is much greater than what we're dealing with right now. So we're going to look at that in a minute. But let's look at this real quick. Let's look at this real quick. So Leviticus 23, 26, 27 lets us know regarding atoning. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, also on the 10th day of the 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be an holy convocation. A convocation is a gathering, a coming together, right? So when we're atoning, we're to do it as one in the body and the spirit. We do it together, whether physically or not. We're supposed to be coming together, right? If you have the ability to come together and begin your atonement together, you do so. Then you go into your closet, you do your own personal atoning. But in doing so, we still encourage and push each other. Some people, this is their first time fasting. Some aren't. Some people are veterans. But at the same time, we encourage. That's iron sharpening iron. Like Yahweh Shah said, man, if a brother compels you to go a mile, you go twain with him. That's Matthew 5:41. So here we are, keeping a convocation. And it says, and ye shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. So we covered all that last night regarding the afflicting of the souls, being fasting. We're partaking in that today. All praise to the Most High for that. Let's get to some of these current events. So I'm trying to figure out where I want to start. I think I'm gonna start here. Let's start here. All right. So we're gonna just read through it. These ads be wild, man. Unreal. All right. Bear with me. So here we go. The next pandemic is already on the way. Now, before we go there, right? I've always quoted this particular clip of Bill Gates, and I'm gonna play him. There's gonna be a few videos we play today. More video heavy than normal. But I want to let good old Bill tell us the plan, and I'm gonna skip right to the part that's most interesting. Watch this.
Natural causes, which is largely coming across from other species. A flu, for example.
You got to forgive the translation. This is the best video that I found, but they've got it being translated, I believe, in French. So just ignore the closed caption on the bottom. But let me get back. I'm gonna skip right to the part that is most interesting, and watch the devil's faces after they announce this. If it's coming through clear, put a 7 in the chat after I play it. If not, let me know.
We'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is will get attention this time.
Look at how they smile. He's talking about the next pandemic that's going to hit. And he said this previous one, they were talking about preparations, how they wasn't prepared for the last scandemic that went on, the one that starts with a C. I got to be careful with all of that. Even still now, even after Slow Biden said that it's over and some of the restrictions is taken off and all that, but not for me for some reason. Anytime I speak on it, they shadow ban the channel and all kind of madness goes on. So I'm still tiptoeing around saying the damn word, which is ridiculous. But anyway, this is Bill Gates talking about the next pandemic that's coming. Let me make sure the sound is coming in cool. Like I said, put a 7 in the chat, man, if y'all are hearing it okay. If it's coming through clear, because I'm not monitoring it myself. Maybe I have to double back on it. Give me 1 second. So it's coming in cool. All right. All praises. Good. All right. So let me go back over and play him again. And his little demon ex-wife, as they grin and laugh about the next pandemic that they know ahead of time is coming. Gates was talking about the DVOC 91 hitting like 3-4 years before it happened. Fauci was talking about it in 2017. So they know what they're doing, what they're planning, what they're releasing. Remember, they have control of the Center for Disease Control. The devil is in the details. Who controls the diseases? Well, they have a center for it where they control disease. Hello? If everybody remembers that movie, not Outbreak, but what was the other one? Starts with a C. Contagion. Remember at the end of the movie, they stored away in a cryogenic freezer the little plague and stored it away for later use. That's at the end of the movie. Y'all remember that? Let me let him go.
Natural causes, and so they moved a lot faster. So we, we'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is will get attention this time.
Oh, so loving, so what's so funny? What is so funny that they are smiling about? And they said we got to get prepared for the next one. That one's going to get everyone's attention. So I guess the somewhat, I think they said 30 some odd million or maybe even 60 million people died during the DVOC 91 scandemic that they're claiming were attributed to DVOC. So that wasn't enough. He said that didn't get everyone's enough attention. I guess enough businesses didn't get shut down. I guess enough people didn't die. Enough people didn't get poked in the arm. Enough people didn't, get what they call it, cabin fever from being locked down and being self-isolating. And I guess that didn't hurt enough, man. I guess the people's mental health still is trying to recuperate from feeling like they've been locked down in solitary. I guess that wasn't enough. He said the next one will get everybody's attention. So what is this next one he's talking about? And let me let his wife add her, or his ex-wife add her little 2 cents in, because we know who the target audience is when they start running around saying, "Hey, roll up your sleeves. We got a new formulated potion for you to take." Who do they want to get the most?
The last thing you want is a bidding war between countries for this vaccine. We know there are 60 million healthcare workers around the world who are keeping everybody safe. They deserve to get this vaccine first. And from there, you want to do tiering in various countries to make sure your most vulnerable populations get it. In our country, that would be Blacks and Native Americans, people with underlying health conditions.
Oh, they care so much about you Black folks. Oh, we got to make sure they get it first. Blacks, Native Americans. Let's make sure that the rich and the Silicon Valley intelligent nerds, the ones who supposedly progressing with society with technology and everything that they do, we're not supposed to save the brains of the operation. That would seem more likely for me if you're trying to talk about, well, these are the people, the forerunners of the brains of the country. We need to save and preserve them. Let them get it first. Not the poor Negroes and Hispanics and Native Americans sitting on reservations and in barrios and ghettos. Why are we so important? Oh, they care so much about us. We got to give it. We got to get it to the more impoverished people. In our place, that's the blacks and Native Americans.
Get it? In our country, that would be Blacks and Native Americans, people with underlying health conditions, and the elderly.
How wicked can you be? How wicked can you be? See, they need the elderly out the way so that they little pension funds and Social Security, monies ain't constantly draining out the economy. They want to make sure you niggas and spics get up out of here too. And he said the next one is going to get everyone's attention. Well, here's the next one. As you can see, hello? Next, verbatim. The next pandemic already is on the way, as UK chiefs warn disease X could kill 50 million. Oh, that's definitely going to get everybody's attention. That's definitely going to get everybody's attention. Health experts have claimed the next pandemic could easily dwarf the death toll caused by this thing as scientists prepare for disease X. Health experts around the world have warned that this thing is simply a sign of things to come. So they forewarned us, oh, well, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. What we just went through the last 3 years, that's just the beginning. If you thought that was hell and that was tough and that was rough and, having to comply and go through all, losing your jobs, threatening, that's nothing of what they're preparing or planning to come down the pipeline. Dame Kate Bingham, who chaired the UK vaccines task force, warned that the next pandemic could kill at least 50 million people. That's bare minimum. At least. Speaking to the Daily Mail, a vaccine expert commented that the world, quote, got lucky that this last thing wasn't deadlier. See, that's what Bill Gates was saying. Oh, that we got by with this one. We wasn't prepared, but we made it. But the next one, that's going to get everybody's attention. The WHO has labeled the next pandemic Disease X, with many experts suggesting it's already on the way. Almost 7 million people died from this thing, according to the WHO, following the outbreak in 2020. Dame Kate warned that the death toll from the disease X could be more than 7 times. Well, that's completion, is it not? That's completion. More deadly than the last thing. Imagine that. Imagine that. So, as we continue on, look, the vaccine chief also suggested that the next scandemic could be from a virus that already exists. Oh, no kidding. Well, you've already got one that existed. Or maybe you've got it stored away at the CDC. How about that? Speaking to the Mail, Dame Kate issued a chilling warning. The 1918 to 1919 flu pandemic killed at least 50 million people worldwide, twice as many as were killed in World War I. Today, we could expect a similar death toll from one of the many viruses that already exist. Today, there are more viruses busily replicating and mutating than all other life forms on our planet combined. So, yeah, we've got disease X, you got Marburg, you got Ebola. I mean, they're drumming up all different types of biological warfare against us all day, every day. Just yesterday, we just talked about the biological warfare attack that they launched on our people in St. Louis in the 50s. And we talked about the experimentation that they did on our people looking towards atomic bombs and radiation poisoning with Oppenheimer and all of that. So y'all already know what it is. So disease X is on the way. We're seeing it. They laid it down, and they gave us a complete understanding that they plan on dropping this thing. They plan on dropping this thing. I mean, this is why they're the wicked, man. This is exactly why the wicked. The Lord's got plans for these people, man. The Lord has got plans for these people. Here's verse 5 of Psalms 11. It says, The Most High Yahweh trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence his soul hateth. So this is what the operations and the mentality of the so-called white man is him that loveth violence. He loves to kill. He loves to maim. He loves to experiment. I mean, you just seen the face of Bill Gates and his demon wife or ex-wife smile and grin at the next pandemic that they got lined up, the next disease that they're ready to unleash. And they grin and laugh and say they ain't ready for this one. And you know how they can do it? Imagine this, man. Just a regular aerosol. Well, that's what they did in St. Louis. Remember that? As they were on the roofs, they said men with hazmat suits and all of that was constantly in the neighborhood and the projects in I believe it's northeast St. Louis, spraying from the rooftops, riding by in cars, emitting fumes out of the tailpipes. We already know what was going on with the chemtrails. You notice every time that you look up there in the sky and the chemtrails is all over the place, people start getting sick. People start having allergy attacks and all kind of stuff is going on within them. So we understand that he's got no problem committing wickedness, but the Lord said his soul hates an individual like that. He's always going to try the righteous. But he said the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. So who says God doesn't hate? If you're wicked and you committing violence, which the so-called white man is prone to do, has a reputation for, Most High said he hates him. That's why he said, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. Verse 6, it says, upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire, and brimstone, and a horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. Because they want to drum up all of these type of things. I mean, this is the type of reasoning that the Most High has for exterminating our enemies as such. Sister Catherine, I appreciate you. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. Sister Denise, shalom to you. Appreciate your help. I mean, your support. And everybody else that's tuning in. Isabella, everybody else that I might have missed when I started. Shalom to all of y'all and whoever else is coming on in. But no question. No question. We're seeing much evil going on in the earth. And that's why the Most High has got to rain hell on these people. So disease X is on the way, right? Let's move on to another portion. We've talked about what's happening with the war. And look at this. See, Slow Biden said last year, when we start talking about sending planes and tanks and all this over in the war, we're talking World War III. Remember he said that? I made a short about it 9 months ago, not even that long ago, maybe about 6-8 months ago. Quoting him, let him play, and he's telling you World War III has already began. Because right after that, they start sending the Abrams tanks. They start sending over they just gave the authority for the F-16s. And guess who else is over there? We already know American troops has already been over there. I'm about to show you a story next. But look at this. 101st and 82nd Airborne Division of soldiers are deploying to Eastern Europe. Well, we know NATO already announced that they're going to carry out their biggest military exercises starting in January of 2024 in anticipation with war with Russia. Why is America sending troops over there? Is they're getting ready to post them up over in Romania. So America's undying support for NATO and for Ukraine is showing that they're getting ready. They're sending troops over there right now. At the same time, they're sending troops over there to the South China Sea to try to protect Taiwan. So World War III is in full flare as all the nations are gathering up their weaponry. We seen a story yesterday that Iran and Saudi Arabia are in bidding war. Both of them, they want nukes. All of the nations that want nukes, they all want to get their weapons together. They're siding up and piecing up with different nations, dividing up where and how the war is going to begin, who's the opposition, we know the BRICS nations is going to be fighting against NATO. And then at the end all be all, they're going to realize that they're fighting for nothing because here comes Yahushua and the angels to take out this whole place. And they're going to try to engage war with Yahushua and the angels, and they're going to lose horribly. And they're going into bond. Those that remain are going into bondage. All of this is documented in 2nd Ezra 13, Revelation 17, Revelation 12, 18, 16. I mean, the list goes on of how this place is coming down. But this is all pre-preparation. This is all we was advised of. Wars, rumors of war, so forth and so on. These are things that we have to be acutely aware of what's going on. So here we see the 101st and 82nd Airborne Divisions, they're getting ready to head over to Europe, Eastern Europe. The Army is showing no signs of curtailing its deployments to Europe as the war in Ukraine continues to grind on. On Wednesday, the Army announced that about 3,400 soldiers and the 101st Airborne Division's 3rd Infantry Brigade combat team will head to Eastern Europe this fall as 200 soldiers from the 82nd Airborne Division headquarters. The units will deploy primarily in Romania, as well as Southeastern Europe to the continent's, quote, high north regions that include Scandinavian countries, Army officials said. Among the 101st troops are infantry units from the division's stories 187th Infantry Regiment, known as the Rakasans. We look forward to the return of the 82nd Airborne Division to the continent and the Rakasans' next rendezvous with destiny, which follows back-to-back deployments of the storied division's 2 other infantry brigade combat teams. Army Colonel Martin O'Connell, a spokesperson for the U.S. Army Europe, said in a statement, the infantry, that's ground troops. So they're getting ready to hit the ground running in preparation for war, right? The U.S. is sending their troops over there, but watch this. The U.S. Army hospital in Germany is treating Americans who got hurt fighting in Ukraine. Oh. So they're already over there fighting, getting hurt, going and getting hospitalized. See? So the narrative that's going on that, oh, nothing's going on, there's no troops fighting over there. What are we talking about? What? The U.S. Army Hospital in Germany says they're over there treating Americans fighting. So, what you just say out of that? Yeah, best believe. That's already done. I mean, we just got through seeing right here. They've got their troops getting hospitalized. A group of Ukrainian army soldiers pierced by Russian grenades and mortar shells arrived at a hospital recently and needed surgery. It would have been a familiar scene from a bloody war grinding on the Ukraine, except for 2 crucial differences. Most of the wounded soldiers were American. Oh, imagine that. The U.S. Army's flagship medical center in Germany reports this. So is America at war with Russia right now? You best believe. It's already began. It's already on the table, right? Continuing on, it says the Army has quietly started to treat wounded Americans and other fighters evacuated from Ukraine and its Landstuhl Regional Medical Center. Notice what it says here? Quietly. They don't want this out. They're not going to let the mainstream media, reverberate this. Because what's it going to indicate to the people? Oh, we're at World War III? Oh, shoot. So they're quietly over there treating them, quietly sending the troops over there. They're over there fighting. They're over there getting beat. Continuing on, it says, though the number so far is small, currently 14, it marks a notable new step in the United States deepening involvement in the conflict. So they're claiming it's only 14. we know. Let's go to the classic. Let's go to the classic. Proverbs 26:25. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for the 7 abominations in his heart. So you're trying to tell me that there's only 14 troops over there. All 14 American troops. That's it. That's all they got going on over there. But meanwhile, they're getting sent to these hospitals in droves. I mean, knock it off. Knock it off. What made these 14 so special? These are the top guns, man. These are the guys who can go over there and get the job done. The Rambos. Are these the chosen 14? I mean, knock it off, man. Why only select 14 to go over there and help fight in this war? You know they got more over there. Continuing on, it says, when the war erupted in 2022, hundreds of Americans, many of them military veterans, rushed to help defend Ukraine. 19 months later, perhaps a few hundred are still there, volunteering for local militias or serving under contract with the Ukrainian National Army. So these are the ones who they're saying were volunteers that went over, right? An unknown number of them have been shot, hit by artillery, blown up by mines, or otherwise injured in combat. About 20 have been killed. Most of the wounded have had to rely on patchwork of Ukrainian hospitals and Western charities for help. Now, though, the Pentagon has stepped in to offer some of the same care it gives to American active duty troops. So, based upon what they've gotten themselves into, does it sound like they're winning the war? I mean, mainstream media is talking about, Ukraine is over here dropping heavy bombs and drones and all kind of stuff, tearing up the Russians. I mean, I can't tell. It said unknown number of these troops, American troops over there. They got hit by artillery. They've been shot, blown up by mines, injured in combat. 20 of them killed. I mean, what are they talking about? Reading a little bit more, it says the hospital at Landstuhl is authorized to do so under the Defense Department policy, which began last summer. That allows the hospital to treat up to 18 wounded members of the Ukrainian forces at a time. Pentagon confirmed in a statement. The fact that most of the Ukrainian troops at Landstuhl are American illustrates how the war has progressed in unexpected ways. Oh boy. So looking at America, you said the Expendables. Yeah, that's about right. Esau is so dang funny, man. So what are they saying? America, NATO, they're losing in unexpected ways, utilizing Ukraine as the arm of their war. They taking L's right now. So it only goes to show you how and why America also is going to be taking L's, because they're on a losing streak right now. They had to withdraw out of Afghanistan because they couldn't really overthrow the Arabs over there. But they did what they needed to do over there. They wanted to get a hold of the poppy fields. They was over there selling heroin and all of that in Afghanistan. Do y'all remember seeing that about the heroin fields, the poppy fields? Let me see if I can find that real quick. Afghanistan. Here they go. Patrolling, protecting the poppy fields, and the poppy fields are used for opium. They're used for opioid production, heroin, in other words. And here they are protecting the fields. See, here they are in here plucking away, And the troops is over there making sure that they are good. See, U.S. troops patrolling opium poppy fields in Afghanistan. So they made sure that they protected the drugs, And when the spending had to get cut for that, because why? They had to reinvest in the new war with Ukraine 6 months later. Remember when they got up out of Afghanistan and them damn Arabs was running, chasing the planes and falling off the planes, trying to get up out of there as well, because they knew the Taliban was going to take back over Afghanistan. But Slow Biden and them had to cut off funding because they had a new war that they was getting ready to start in February of 2021, or was it 2022? and they had to go fund the Ukraine war. They knew all of this was going to be going down anyway. They're not slick. Look at it. When did the U.S. withdraw from Afghanistan? When was that? August of 20. Here we go. August of 2021. Watch how we put this together. August of 2021. When did the Russia-Ukraine war start? Oh, February 2022. So do you see how that works, man? That's America warmongering and controlling the globe through war. They ended the one where they got up out of Afghanistan because they had to redirect the funds to go towards this war that they knew they were getting ready to take part in. So between August and February is what, 6 months? August, September, October, November, December, January, February. Yeah, 6 months. They knew that they was gonna have another war they was getting ready to crack off on, and they couldn't fund both. They couldn't keep over there in Afghanistan. They got what they needed up out of there. They left all them Ishmaelites over there to die, rot. You know, the whole city collapsed. Taliban took it back over. Then they went over there and did a drone bombing and killed some innocent families and said, "Oops, sorry." It's been a complete mess over there. Now they're over here in Afghanistan and they're catching hell over there. But guess what? It's too late. You know, they're taking L's all over the place. Slow Biden got caught hell for the way they left Afghanistan. And now we're seeing it in the same fashion in this war. I put Isaiah, I meant Jeremiah. Jeremiah 51. So 51 and 6. Let's read that. So it says, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul." So, you know, the understanding of us having to leave and flee and run up out of Babylon doesn't necessarily mean physically. The Most High is telling us that the objective is to flee out of the midst, to stay out of the middle of what Babylon's got going on. We know that it's the cage of every hateful bird. We know that all the abominations, the fornications, the idolatry, the lascivious spirit that comes up out of here, Sodom, LGBTQ plus, pedophilia, all of that, unclean foods, meats, everything that Babylon promotes. The Most High said, everything that swirls around in the midst of this place, get up out of there, deliver your soul. Same way that we're afflicting our souls through fasting. It didn't take us to move or do anything. It took us to purge ourselves from our iniquities and our evils. It took us to denying the flesh, to weakening the flesh, so that the spirit can come to rise to the occasion and lead us and guide us in the spirit of truth. So when we're doing that, we're doing the same thing, delivering our souls by purging ourselves away, fasting and denying the ways of Babylon to deliver our souls. Right? So now it says, "Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense." So the Most High is going to rain hell on this place. And we can see slowly but surely them taking losses throughout all of these particular wars that they've been in of late. America's not this big old strong superpower that they used to be. The only time they're going to be able to do it is when they drop bombs. And they're going to be dropping bombs. But they're going to vulnerably get hit with bombs and missiles as well. And before it's completely, and utter destroyed, the chariots of the Most High Yahweh Shai is going to take this place out with fervent heat. But it said this is the Lord's vengeance is going to take place on on Babylon, because this wasn't ancient Babylon. Ancient Babylon didn't go through the destructions that came from the Lord. They went through some minor battles with the Persians and the Medes. Outside of that, man, they damn near handed over the keys to the next reigning kingdom, according to Daniel 7. Look at this. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that had made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. She ain't going to be healed. Verse 9 lets us know. We would have been healed, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one to his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and lifted up even to the skies. People going to be leaving up, trying to get up out of all the nations that came over here, trying to get the American dream, sipping on the wine and the wrath of the fornication. They're going to realize, man, that it was all poisoned. And they're going to try to get up out of here before they get destroyed in the wrath of the Lord too. But now we're seeing that they're over there getting caught up in this war that's going unexpectedly wrong for them, right? And U.S. troops is over there getting hospitalized. See here, so unexpected ways they're over there getting hit up. The Biden administration vowed at the start of the war that it would not put American troops on the ground in Ukraine and it warned Americans not to get involved. Now it finds itself treating those it told to stay away. Mary Sanchez, a spokesman for the hospital, said that all the wounded fighters there were currently in good condition, but declined to offer any specific details about the patients. Yeah, I think they should, because they said that they were supposed to be keeping it on the low, quietly. Right? So look at this. Another one. Sergei Lavrov says the U.S. is directly at war with Russia. Oh, hello? He's a prime minister, I believe, in Russia. He's not holding back nothing. I don't know what that red alert is over there in the UK. I'll have to check that out later. But what do we see? Sergei Lavrov. Kohath, you just get notified, man. Hey, I told you. You know, they playing games over there. They playing games with YouTube. They playing games with us. But you know, it's all right. Better late than never. Better late than never. But nonetheless, Sergei Lavrov, he says the U.S. is directly at war with Russia in a horrifying escalation of the threat. Dramatic escalation comes a day after President Slow Biden told Volodymyr Zelensky the U.S. will hand Ukraine devastating long-range missiles dubbed the Wonder Weapon to aid in the counter-offensive. So Slow Biden is out here passing off more missiles, more money, and you know, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says, man, look, the U.S. is already here. We're already at war directly, not by proxy anymore. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has accused the West of being directly at war with Moscow in a dangerous escalation as the war in Ukraine rages on. Speaking at the UN General Assembly on Saturday, Lavrov branded the Ukraine's peace formula unrealistic and blasted Kiev's Western allies. And remember that? They were saying that was the pink slime going to McDonald's. That just threw me off. Look at this. Quote, you can call this whatever you want to call this, but they are directly at war with us. We can call this a hybrid war, but that doesn't change the reality. Lavrov said they are effectively engaged in hostilities with us, using the Ukrainians as fodder. He added, that's essentially a proxy war. They're utilizing Ukraine as a pawn to fight a war for them. You know, it's almost like a bully that you know, pressures another kid to fight another kid. Come on, you better fight him or you're a punk. If you don't do it, you're a punk. And if you do it, man, I'll give you $5 and blah 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 blah. I want to see y'all two fight. That's basically what's going on. Lavrov blamed the collapse of the Black Sea grain deal on what he described as broken promises by Ukraine and the United Nations. In remarks after his speech at the UN General Assembly in New York, Lavrov said Russia left the crucial deal because, quote, everything was promised to us turned out to be deception. Oh, well, should you be surprised? I mean, all of y'all are devils. But the fact that the UN and Ukraine lied to you about something? Oh, imagine that. Well, guess what? I don't know why he's acting funny. John 8:44 tells you. The so-called white man is what? Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and he abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. You know, it's a cold movie that shows this. Um, if y'all seen The Devil's Advocate, and there's a scene in there where Keanu Reeves is talking with um, what's the guy's name? Al Pacino, who's the quote unquote devil. You know, it's so funny, man. I always make this point. You know, the public and the people who don't agree or don't understand why we call the so-called white man the devil, they always have a problem with us calling him the devil. But meanwhile, all throughout Hollywood, he says he is the devil. How come Hollywood can go off and make all of these movies and he's always depicted as a devil? I can't recall a movie, TV show, or else or anything where a black man was a devil. If y'all ever seen one, put it in the chat. I'll check it out. But I don't recall ever seeing the black man being portrayed as a devil. Maybe a servant of Satan or something like that in some sort of a cinematic form. But every time he admits it, I mean, he's got a movie called The Devil's Advocate. Who's the devil in the movie? Him, the white man. Devil in the blue dress. Oh, the white woman. The devil wears Prada. White woman. What else did they got? They got a whole TV show called Lucifer. White man. But all of a sudden, when we say, look, you're telling us, we're disagreeing. All of a sudden, it's a problem. Oh, Tales from the Hood? Okay. Okay. I'll submit to that. I'll submit to Tales from the Hood. I mean, but give me a break, man. Some low budget B movie that only niggas is watching. That's far in comparison to some low budget B movie, man. So there's some Jakes and did some foolishness because they wanted an all black cast. I'm not buying that one. But I mean, you know, come on. That pales in comparison to all of the examples I just gave. I mean, come on. And there's many more. Look, here you go. I mean, when we say it, it's a problem. But leave it to him to admit to it. There's nothing wrong with it, right? But back to the point. So in that movie, if y'all remember, in that scene, I wish I could play it. I'll get flagged. If y'all haven't seen it, you got to check it out. The scene in the movie, and I can't remember. This might be it. Might be the scene, right? But anyway, Keanu Reeves is realizing that he's dealing with a whole nother creature who's supposed to be his boss at the law firm. And he questions him. He says, man, who are you? Satan? No. He said, who are you? He said, who are you, Satan? And Al Pacino says, just call me Dad. Now, the white man tells another white man, just call me Dad. What did we just read here in John 8:44? If y'all haven't seen it, go watch that and then go reflect back on the scripture. Because he's telling you, based upon the word of the Lord, via cinema, the truth. Ye are of your father the devil. He told the man, just call me Dad. And the lust of your fathers he will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there's no truth in him. When he speak a lie, he speaketh of his own, but he's a liar and the father of it. Ain't that the truth? And here he is, Sergei Lavrov, talking about everything that was promised to us turned out to be a deception. Well, you of your father the devil, and you dealing with your same people. No kidding, you got lied to. It ain't fun, huh? It's not fun when you get lied to. Look at him. You do it to us all the time. So there you have it. He's admitting that we're at war already. It's already going down, and between Russia and the U.S. via proxy as it stands, but it's going to get even more because we're seeing U.S. troops is over there getting hit up, getting hospitalized. The U.S. is sending troops over there to Eastern Europe in preparation for World War III. To pretty much just go nuclear, man, and just pretty much put it on the table. Nations be known who's doing what. Then people are gonna say, "Oh, it's World War III now." No, no. The preparations, everything is already set in motion and has been in motion for the better part of a year now. The war has been going on for a little more than a year, but the U.S. has gotten even more involved, more funding within like the last 8 to 10 months. Let's move on to another story. Look, compounding the lesson I just did last, what was it, Thursday? No, last week. I can't remember the day. Time is moving so fast. Regarding lab grown meat, right? So some people say, yeah, so what? Lab grown meat is all good. I'm eating whatever. I don't care. Um, as long as it's lawful. Okay, that's all cool, right? But as long as you've got a conscious choice to make, I would suggest getting something that is being created in the lab as opposed to one that has been. The processes of how much more evil and more wicked. I mean, it's like you put this type of technology in the so-called white man's hands, he's going to go a mile well above and beyond the call of duty. So here's where they're projecting a possible future of these lab-grown cell cultivated meats. Because all they're saying is all they need is cells to create these meats now. So they're even insinuating that the possible future could be lion burgers, tiger burgers, mammoth meatballs. I mean, you know that they claim that they found I think they said the cells or the remains of a woolly mammoth or something, and they try to genetically modify and recreate one. I mean, the white men are so wild. So they're talking about tiger steaks, lion burgers is going to be up next. And you know how exotic, man, the so-called white man is. He loves the red pottage. He loves to eat anything and everything. We know how Esau gets down in Genesis 25. We know how he loves. Look, Genesis 25 and 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with some of that, give Shalaki. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint, therefore his name was called Edom. So he wanted the red pot. He wanted, some say it was lentils, others be thinking, it was uncooked meat. But the scriptures say that he was cooking venison. I mean, let me see, where are we at? A little bit further up. The sodded pottage, right? Uh, Either way, we know that Esau is desperate. He'll do anything. See here, it says it with lentils. But he will do anything and eat anything in points of desperation. I mean, you see some of them, those shows like, what is it? Naked and Afraid and Bizarre Foods. There's always Esau, man, eating some wild stuff, man. He ain't got, he's animalistic in nature. He'll eat anything. So this is why they can go out and they can say, well, you know what? For climate change, we can cut down on the cows and let's go ahead and, transition over to lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. You dig? This is what he's up here trying to do. And loves to use the word exotic. That means that it's more exclusive, more expensive. Yeah, that's right. Fear factor. All of those things. Exotic cultivated meats claim to be harmless, but they could threaten the actual endangered animals. This person, I think the author is a vegan or something, but I want to get down here. They were talking about the most exotic thing. I think it's a female. She ate was eating reindeer. Now she put on her Instagram. Let me make sure it's a female before I keep. Yeah, Jude Wiley. Put on Instagram. She asked how many people. What's the most exotic meat you ever ate before? So she says it was eating a reindeer. But look at this. Eating reindeer remains one of my core memories. Though I now consider eating all animals gross and unethical, but I've discovered reindeer is not a very exotic meat, at least compared with what my Instagram followers have been eating. They eat reindeer like up in Alaska. They eat bear in Alaska. They eat all kind of madness up there. So that's why she's saying it's not that exotic. People are eating reindeer all the time. When I posted this question, what's the most exotic meat you've eaten? I discovered my followers had been eating everything from alligator to a mink whale. And we're going to take a look at this alligator a little bit later. Very interesting. Brother Jackson had brought up yesterday, and Ashar sent me a video on it, and I definitely checked it out and got something to add on to that, which is very wild. But nonetheless, look at this. Which animals we find acceptable to eat vary from person to person according to our values, palates, and upbringing. Many consider eating cows and chickens okay, but not octopus, dolphin, or tiger. Right now, you be hard pressed to find tiger meat in your local supermarket. I mean, this is what I'm saying. It is just popped in my head. Um, is it First Timothy? Is it First Timothy 4? Um, or it might be Second Timothy. No, it is 4. You know, this is where the Christians get to stumbling and falling on their face, right? Because anytime they talk about, well, Acts chapter 10, Peter said, call nothing common and unclean. He wasn't even talking about food. That shows you, man, they starving bellies, man, and their carnal minds. They have no idea when they're reading about the scriptures, looking for any old excuse to go out there and eat every abomination known to man. But anytime you ask them about the dietary law, and they say, "Oh, the dietary law is done away with. We don't have to follow that old covenant no more. We can eat what we want to eat. Everything is blessed by God. As long as it's received with thanksgiving, nothing to be refused." Oh, really? So you ask them, well, uh, how do you feel about cannibalism? Is that okay? Oh, come on, brother, you being extreme. Well, would you eat a rat? Oh, heck no. Well, why not? Nothing to be refused. It's just not my preference. Yeah, right. So you trying to tell me you would sit with somebody who's eating a rat? I mean, who put in a Koaf? You mentioned Moab. Yeah, Esau and Moab. They'll eat anything. Well, they ride together like spokes on a tire. You trying to tell me that a good old Christian is going to sit and have a nice meal, sit next to a damn Moabite who's eating a dog, and not say nothing? Oh yeah, you keep questioning them and poking them and prodding them about their dietary law choices, and you'll find out, oh, they do have some sort of morality. There is a little moral compass there somewhere, and that's when you back them down with, no, well, listen, we were given a law and what we can and can't eat. You just need to get off of the damn swine and catfish and chitlins and everything else that you love, chicharrones and everything else. See, because they run here and say for every creature, First Timothy 4:4. For every creature the Most High is good, and nothing to be refused if it be received with thanksgiving. So as long as you say and say your prayers over it, and you thank God for receiving it, you can eat whatever you want to eat, and then go double back and twist up Acts 10. Well, if that's the case, they're not gonna have a problem eating this. They're gonna open wide. You're gonna love this. Continuing on, it says, which animals we find acceptable to eat vary from person to person, including our values, palates, and upbringing. Oh, so that's what's going to determine it. Many consider eating cows and chickens okay, but not octopus, dolphin, or tiger. Right now, you're hard pressed to find tiger meat in the local supermarket, but developments in tech are making a future possible in which eating exotic meats from alligator to zebra could be commonplace. This is why it's dangerous, and this is why we can see how far the damn so called white man goes. Uh, yeah, I'll have died. I got family that done ate possum and damn squirrels before. You know, Jake's down there and down south eating raccoons. I mean, part of it is just because of the fact of being, sharecropping, escaped slaves, and passing down recipes, and that's just what you had available to eat. Homesteading and living off the land, and not having an idea about what a true dietary law consists of. You know, that's just the mental training and being destroyed for lack of knowledge that our people are involving themselves in, which is unfortunate. But that's, Hosea 4:6 all day, and 4:1. But damn, here they are, voluntarily eating this stuff now. Alligator to zebra will be commonplace. This is why, you give the white man an inch, he takes a mile. Oh, I'm making lab grown meat to help sustain this overpopulated world and blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, well, okay, I started with chicken, I'm going to beef, and I'm going all out. Alligator to zebra, A to Z, and everything in between. And we're going to call it exotic. And you know how the Negroes be constantly trying to chase the damn trends of what's going on, what's new now, what's popping and what's commonplace. Oh, the new thing is you got to try this alligator. Oh, the new thing is you got to try. You're not really, in the know if you're not eating this same stuff. Why? Because the white man told us, everything we see in popular culture when it comes down to fashion and foods and all that. You see Negroes, man, running around and wearing all these damn gay, you know, well, let me be clear. Uh, the bots be loving the grab keywords. Uh, these sodomite European designers. I mean, what does a Negro from the depths of Memphis, the south side of Chicago, the east side of LA, the west side of Atlanta, uh, Houston, Brooklyn, New York, Harlem, the Bronx, uh, Liberty City, Miami Gardens. I mean, what do they know about Versace coming up in the hood? What do you know about, you know, Givenchy and all these other damn sodomite design? I mean, unless you're getting exposed to this stuff by people who are saying, "Hey, you got to get out of those clothes, man. Stop sagging your pants. This is real fashion. Hey, do what we do." And then that's how they say they be screening these cats, man, when they be setting them up with designers, when they get these record deals and these acting deals and all of that. And the testing grounds for them to go through the run through the gambit of whether or not they're going to be accepted for casting couch duties and stuff like that is they say they put a designer, a gay designer, assign it to them and see how far they're willing to go with fashion choices, how well they get along with the sodomite. Are they willing to go and hang out with them? And once they start doing that, then they start opening up all other kind of doors. And before you know it, man, some dude done compromised his morality and his sexuality for fame. So why not say, oh, these exotic foods now is what's hip and okay? This is what establishes you as the upper echelon and sets you apart from the nigger from the hood to this new successful business mogul that the world recognizes and got everybody following you on Instagram. They're going to use food as a weapon. I mean, hey, um, on the reverse note of using food as a weapon, State Memorandum 200, written by Henry Kissinger about depopulation of the planet, said that they were going to use food as a weapon, vaccines, um, in third world countries, man, to reduce population. And here they are developing cell culture technology and saying, hey, sky's the limit. You want a tiger burger? That's on the way. So at some point in time, man, you got to pump the brakes and be like, man, I don't trust him with none of this stuff. I mean, the scriptures say, man, in Mark that we're going to eat poison and live and so forth and so on, man. I mean, there's only so much that we can do to protect ourselves dietarily and reading the labels and doing what we can. That's why the Most High has us do those things with Passover, in the spirit of the high holy days, man. When You have to be in more discerning and more scrutinizing of what you're putting in your body during Passover. That gets you into practice of watching labels and trying to see what you're entering, what you're putting into your body and what you're not. You know, the average Joe Schmo, man, he don't give a damn. He's buying anything as long as he can afford it. He's gonna buy it and eat it. Doesn't matter its contents. But the Most High puts us on a more disciplined regimen and says, well, each time, every year for 7 days, you can't have none of this in your body. And make sure that you're paying attention to the byproducts, the hidden names, the scientific names, and everything else, because the white man does his best to cover up every little track that he lays down when it comes down to Passover and stuff like that. So, you know, when we're in positions like this, that's why last week I put out all the companies that I was able to find that manufacture the lab grown meats. You know, y'all may find some more. And if you say, man, I'm not tripping, I'm eating, Lord be with you. Because you know, who knows what they're putting in these particular meats as they're gearing them up, or crossbreeding, you know, different cells and saying, hey, this is the new, you know, zebra cow burger. Who knows? I mean, the devil is definitely busy, man. Let's finish this one up. So it says culture meat, also known as cell cultivated meat, is not pork reared on caviar and Italian neo-realistic cinema. It's It is meat that has been grown in a lab. It is potentially to liberate animals from exploitation, creating burgers and sausages from meat that has been grown in bioreactors and harvested without the meat of a sentient being, without the death of a sentient being. So it's for the animals, you know. It's just like Bill Gates, man, when I showed the video of a couple months ago when he was talking about, hey, we can recycle sewage water. And all the sludge and all the crap and everything else was riding through that dang machine, and it came out, and Bill Gates, you know, had to put his little crusty lips on the cup and said, it tastes like water." Y'all remember that? I mean, the white man is out here claiming that he's out here trying to save people, but we know his ultimate goal is to reduce population and kill people. So at your own risk, at your own risk. Okay. Um, See, look it down here. It's not all chicken, pork. Uh, it's not all chicken and pork though. Recently, recently, startups as Primeval Foods and Vow have begun developing meat culture from the cells of exotic and even extinct animals, such as the tiger, zebra, and mammoth. A gigantic mammoth meatball produced by Vow earlier this year brought many people's attention to potential applications of culture cell technology, and advocates argue the novelty of non traditional meats could help win over an otherwise hard to reach group of potential consumers. Here it goes right here. A meatball made using the DNA from a mammoth is seen at the Nemo Science Museum in Amsterdam, March of 2023. It looked like a big old turd. And this is a quote unquote mammoth meatball. And you know, it's some damn heathen man who's, you know, foaming at the mouth and drooling right now saying, I'd love to try it. I'd love to try it. Imagine that. Couple more to look at. Let's look at this. And this is just something that popped in my head, and I've seen in the spirit. And we talked about the government shutdown yesterday, right? The potential that's happening. October 1st is the deadline. If you remember, we also got this coming up. The FEMA and FCC plan nationwide emergency alert October 4th. Very interesting that there's one deadline for the first, and then all of a sudden there's going to be an emergency alert test that goes out 3 days later. I wonder why. You know, we always saying, well, what are they planning for? Well, we got Disease X on deck, Marburg on deck. You know, the stock markets have been doing horrible the last couple of weeks. The economy is on a spiral going downwards, fast as your drain pipe can, you know, suck down water. There's all kind of things. You know, troops is going over there for war. NATO is launching its biggest warfare drills going on in January. And now we've got a test for everybody to tap into everybody's phones come October 4th. So there's plenty to be concerned about or plenty to wonder, well, what are they talking about? Oh, well, there's a shutdown that possibly could happen in what, 6 more days? 7 more days, I should say, because we got to, go get it down to the first. And right now, the Republicans is standing firm. They like, man, we not funding none of this crap, and we don't even like McCarthy, who's calling the shots for us. So there's all kind of dissension in the ranks going on right now. So they ain't nowhere near solidifying this deal. They may scramble at the last minute. Who knows? But it's just ironic that on the first they got something going on, and then on the third or on the fourth, emergency alert going out. Imagine that. Speaking of the drought, we talked about drought yesterday with the Panama Canal. Talked about the drought happening in Mississippi. But look what's happening to the water supply. Salt water threatens Louisiana drinking water supply amid the Mississippi River drought. If you look on YouTube, man, you see some of the videos, man, people are scrambling, trying to buy up and stocking up on water now because they're talking about salt water is now threatening to enter into their sewage systems and into their water systems. So pretty soon, the city officials over there, they're like, calm down, don't worry. There's plenty of water. You can still use your water right now. It's very light. As far as the salt contents is concerned, it's nothing to be aware. It's probably going to take a couple more weeks before we really get salt water coming out your pipes. Because they can't, I guess the filtering of the salt, the filtering of the salt water is more difficult because they don't have an abundance of water to switch through. It's almost like if you got more salt than you got water, when you try to filter it through, eventually you're going to just keep getting more salt into your contents of water. So that's what's happening right now over there in Mississippi. But again, we talk about prepping and making sure you got some things on deck. People is running to the stores, gathering water, and in one particular area, people were hitting the Sam's Club, and they was like, "There's no water. There's no water. Anybody that's coming here, don't come here. There's no water. They're out." So people in that local area running to their local Sam's Club, they thought they was gonna get some water. No water was there. So they was, hustling, going to Costco's and going to other local stores where fortunately there's still, there's enough water coming in on the pallets. They said that they usually order, I think they said five pallets of the packs of water usually last around a week at this particular store. They said they had to order 30 for this next week. That's how much people are scrambling trying to buy water right now in Louisiana because of the drought and because the water is now being contaminated. Well, guess what? Didn't we talk about this with the plagues of Egypt and Second Esdras and America getting hit with the same things? Well, what happened to the water supply in Egypt? Oh, water turned to blood, huh? Well, look what's happening here. We already know that the water supplies here in America is all jacked up, from toxins to metals to sterilants in the water. Now they talking about salt water coming in. I mean, look what's going on up there. Lead in the water. Look, I mean, has the solutions been found for Flint yet? I doubt it. 2 15 and 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before. So we know that this ain't talking about ancient Egypt. Similar plagues are going to be hitting modern Egypt, America, just as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. So America, what is going to be destroyed? All the land is going to be destroyed, but it's going to get hit with plagues before it's finally taken off the map. And here we see one of the plagues, the poisoning of the water, or the destruction of the water supplies. So Mississippi getting hit. Salt water from the Gulf of Mexico is intruding on the water-stricken Mississippi River, threatening Louisiana's drinking supply water and prompting Governor John Bel Edwards to consider requesting emergency federal aid. On Friday, the Louisiana governor said saltwater continues to grow in the lower Mississippi River region because of the river's low water levels and flow rate. And I said it before, I'm going to definitely cover it about Mississippi being one of the three deltas in the world. The Nile, Mississippi, and the Amazon are the three delta rivers that are in the world. And the delta regions are important because of the water supplies that supplies that it runs up and down the country. It supplies trade, export routes, travel. Um, it filters off into the larger bodies of oceans for exports and imports, creating ports for commerce. You know, this is why the Mississippi River is so important, and now it's been drying up. So America is going to have a hard time if this thing continues, and the Most High keeps striking this place with more plagues of drought. It's going to create a huge problem economically for America. They already got the problem with the Panama Canal, as we just seen yesterday. 40% of the world's commerce comes through import and exports via the Panama Canal. Is already having problems, and now we're seeing the other or one of the other major waterways getting hit up. So continuing on, it says in July, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers constructed an underwater barrier still to create an artificial basin to delay the saltwater intrusion. However, last week, water from the Gulf topped the sill's elevation. The governor warned additional work will be needed to slow the saltwater. So, long story short, see, reading down here, this is why they're telling everybody calm down, because they don't want everybody running wild. It says as saltwater continues to move upstream, additional communities along the river will be impacted, including New Orleans. The saltwater is not likely to affect Paris's upriver until mid to late October. Water systems in St. Bernard, New Orleans, and Jefferson Paris's will eventually be impacted. So they're trying to reduce the panic. They're not saying it's not going to happen. They're just saying, hey, we got a couple more weeks before our water supply is completely jacked up with salt water. So you guys don't have to rush and run to the stores and stockpile water right now. You're creating a panic. Yeah, well, you're damn right. What would you do? If somebody told you, man, your water supply is going to be jacked up in 2 weeks, would you go now or would you wait and listen to the damn government and them telling you, oh, calm down. Your water's still fine to drink. It's just a little bit of salt in there right now. So St. Bernard or St. Bernard, New Orleans, and Jefferson parishes will eventually be impacted. So think about that and what's going on in Louisiana. Brother Jackson, man, and Ashar, you done made me look this up. And here we go. And I told Ashar, man, this is why the Most High be whooping Israel's ass. And I got to put it that way. Because look at what our people do. This is a mayor, the leader of the damn city. Leader of the city, carrying on in this foolishness, man, in Oaxaca, Mexico. A small town Mexican mayor married a crocodile in an old age indigenous ritual. Well, before we get. Now it says an age old indigenous ritual, right? Before we even go there, this is the type of stuff, man, and why the Most High has had it up the forehead with Israel. Marrying damn alligators, man. Psalm 106. And we're going to read 34 down. It says, they did not destroy the nations concerning whom Yahweh commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works. And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. Yea, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. They were defiled with their own works. and went a whoring with their own inventions. So the northern kingdom, man, they're being defiled by their own works. They're going to whoring with their own inventions, learning the ways of the heathen, right? You say, IQ, what heathen? Well, listen, the Egyptian god Sobek was the crocodile god. And this is where, our people get these damn, hold on, before we go, because it said the Canaanites, right? But we know, according to Leviticus 18, what the Most High tell us here. Leviticus 18 says, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am Yahweh your power. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, ye shall not do. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. What did our people down there in Mexico do? Doing their own damn works, learning after the ways of the heathen, involving themselves with things that they should not be doing. Look at this. One of the things they said don't do. Why did they say don't do after the manners of Egypt and after the Canaanites? And they're listing all of these things is because this is the stuff they were doing. And they told us don't do these things. Verse 23, neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith, neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion. We're not supposed to be having no interactions and kissing alligators and laying with beasts and committing bestiality and all that. I mean, it's a complete abominations. Complete. And this dude is a damn mayor of the city following a quote unquote tradition, marrying an alligator as it's supposed to be a some sort of good luck charm, so to speak, when it comes down to particular unions. They were saying that it's a when there's a marriage between two particular tribes or whatever in that area, the alligator is supposed to represent the peace between the unions and all of that. But I mean, this is all foolishness at the end of the day, and we know this. But just when you see your people doing this, it's like, come on. I mean, how much more wicked, how much more ignorant can our people get? How much more, right? Look at this. Uh, Leviticus 11, and we'll read 29. These also shall be unclean unto you among the creeping things that creep upon the earth, the weasel and the mouse and the tortoise after his kind, and the ferret and the chameleon and the lizard and the snail and the mole. These are unclean to you among all that creep. Whosoever doth touch them when they be dead shall be unclean unto the even. So the Most High said, man, even when they dead, if you touch them, you're not supposed to be touching on them damn wearing alligator skin boots and alligator belts and the Most High said, man, you don't touch those things. And this guy's running around kissing the damn thing and all of that. It's alive, but still.
Tenemos que cumplir con ciertos requisitos.
Now, see what it's supposed to represent. The 7-year is supposed to run a deity representing Mother Earth, right? This is what he's saying. Now, going back over here, Sobek, the enigmatic crocodile god of ancient Egypt. Sobek, also spelled Sebek in Greek, Suchos, was in an ancient Egyptian religion a god of the violent power embodied in crocodiles as his chief sanctuary, located in the Fayum province. Here he goes right here. This powerful deity with a number of important associations was worshipped from at least Old Kingdom. According to the pyramid text, Sobek, the ranging one, is a son of the goddess Neith. He is the one who takes women from their husbands whenever he wishes. Oh, imagine that. So he represents adultery, but also makes green the herbage of the fields and riverbanks. He's considered one of the oldest deities mentioned in the pyramid text, which is inscribed on the walls of the tomb. Sobek, the lord of the crocodiles, was depicted with a crocodile head. Many believe Sobek created order in the universe and the world when he emerged from the dark water, and that he was the creator of the Nile River. Notice how they said it represents Mother Earth. They just flipped it for their own use, just like the Most High said. They create their own inventions. He's often associated with fertility. Oh, so what's this got to do with a marriage? However, due to the his rather unpredictable nature, ferocity, and quick movements, the deity was also associated with chaos. So let's go back over here. This is where our people learn this crap from and carry it down, talking about it's an ancient indigenous tradition. No, you got it from the damn heathens, and they carried this on.
Tenemos que cumplir con cierto requisito, pedirle a la naturaleza que no nos falten las lluvias, que no nos falten los alimentos, que haya peces.
They ask nature for enough rain. They don't
cosas,
ask the Most High. They ask nature for food. They don't ask the Most High. All of these false gods and all these false deities that they out here worshiping. We need to ask for things with love, so Huamelula won't suffer consequences.
Que se pidan con ese amor para que Aguamelula no sufra, no tenga estas consecuencias.
See, the marriage symbolizes joining humans with the divine. What? See, that's where the marriage deals with the fertility. This is where they were talking about when the marriages happens between different tribes that was in that vicinity. They said that they parade the thing around from house to house so everybody can hold it and touch it. Yeah, it dates to pre-Hispanic times. How about Egypt? Oh, look at that. Now mixed with Catholic practice. So the Catholic Church is now involved in this. They got no problem with it, huh? Now mixed with Catholic practice, the bride wore a white dress as well as a colorful cloak. I thought white was supposed to represent pureness and holiness and all that, and they thrown it on the alligator. I mean, how much more abominable do you need to be? And then you wonder why the Most High's got hitting them smitten with, the gang wars and the damn drug trade and earthquakes and all kind of damage going on over there, poverty, plague. Their asses will not wake up. They continuing on with these foolish traditions. Now mixed with the Catholic practice. So they've incorporated the church in this now.
Desde el primer día que me eligió el capitán para ser la madrina, estuve pensando en qué es lo que le iba a poner, cómo la iba yo a vestir, ya que es la fiesta más
She's the godmother. Imagine that.
importante de nosotros los chontales, y la verdad pues es un privilegio el poder ser la madrina y creo que pocas personas pueden serlo, entonces me da mucha alegría, mucho orgullo de mis raíces y de esta tradición que es muy bonita.
See, it's sad, man. It's sad how far people are falling, man. I mean, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Hold on. Unbelievable how far people are falling. Why the hell this thing keep coming up? I told you, I don't want to hear you no more. Deuteronomy 4, right? And let's drop down and we're going to read. Verse 15 on down. It says, "Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that Yahweh spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of a male or female." That's why the Most High does not want us trying to reduplicate any depictions of him, Yahweh Shai. You know, you don't want us doing all of that stuff, man. Why? Because it forces our people, not necessarily forces us, our people are so enticed to see it, to believe it types, you know, lacking faith, that we would rather worship an image or object, bow down to a painting or a sculpture before we faithfully send our prayers up to the Heavenly Father, who's a spirit, right? They don't want to do that. But this is against the law. The Most High said, don't make any similitude of any figure, the likeness of a male or a female, the likeness of any beast that's in the earth, that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that's in the waters beneath the earth. Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord thy power have divided unto all the nations under the heaven and the earth. So here we are doing animal worship. Not we, but they doing this foolishness, right? Unreal. Bayan, you closing out your atonement, man. Have a blessed one, man. All praise to the Most High, while you have a side, man. Blessings to you and your household that y'all endured and made it through, man. I'm getting ready to close out in a hot second. I got to go out with your man, Slow Biden, man. We're going to go out with a laugh. This is all this week. All this week. How this do? Well, hopefully I was clear on the whole folly going on with these guys, you know. But the Most High restricted us from doing this folly, man. And our people got to get called out on the stupid stuff that they into. But let's look at your boy Slow Biden, man. All within the last week, he just made a complete boob and buffoon of himself, man. He never fails for a good laugh. So here we go. Slow Biden awkwardly stumbles into a pole and doesn't shake President Lula's hand. President Lula, I believe, is the president of Brazil. He doesn't even shake his hand, man. Watch this.
Republic of Brazil, accompanied by the Director General of the International Labor Organization.
And to say to President Biden, can you hear me, President Biden? This is a historical moment for Brazil.
Look at Slow Biden looking like a damn kid, man. You know, goofing around with the little tech in his hand, trying to figure out how to use the earpiece, you know, and they got to talk to him like a damn, you know, senile old man, which he is. Can you hear me, Slow Biden? And he's just completely lost.
Director General of the International Labor Organization.
And to say to President Biden, can you hear me, President Biden? This is a historical moment for Brazil and for the U.S. President Biden, can you hear me? You can? Yes, good. And so there's the U.S. delegation that is here with
completely
me.
lost,
I'd like to greet my wife that is also here. I'd like to greet the Brazilian trade unionists that came to my invitation by my labor minister, and I also like to greet the U.S. trade union leaders.
You see how the president of Brazil did? He was going to go shake Slow Biden's hand, and Slow Biden gave a salute and walked off, and the guy walked away. He shook his head like, man, this mother effing, watch the guy from Brazil. He like, man, the hell with this dude, man. That's Slow Biden for you, man. That's one. Let's get another one. Biden praises the Congressional Black Caucus during an address to the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. So he mixes up even where he's at. He's at an event for the Hispanic Congressional Caucus, and he says he thanks the Congressional Black Caucus. This is all within the last 7 days, I believe he did this.
Lessons based on the Gospel of Matthew. Feed the hungry.
And this damn devil want to try to act like he can quote some scriptures. We're blessing of the blessings of Matthew. Feed the homeless. This guy don't even know what he's talking about. It's the devil right here for you. But I'm going to let him go.
Hungry. Care for the sick. Welcome strangers. They echo what my dad taught me. And I mean this sincerely. My dad used to say, everyone is entitled to be treated with dignity and respect. The Congressional Black Caucus embodies all those values. Just think of the work we've done together on civil rights.
He's at the Congressional Black Caucus. He forgot that he's at the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. Hello?
Labor rights, healthcare, education. And folks, to fundamentally change the direction of our economy, to grow it from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down.
Oh, boy. One more.
Lessons based on...
One more. Slow Biden refers to LL Cool J as a boy after bungling his name. So he let it slip out. Jim Crow Joe, Jim Crow era of him, called LL Cool J a boy. He said, that boy, that man, watch this.
The CBC member staff in the room here include those who serve across...
No, it's a little low.
Like Secretary of House and Urban Affairs, great Marcia Fudge, who's joined by several other cabinet members. Tonight's awardees, Hakeem Jeffries, a leader with integrity and courage. Courage. You care fast. A visionary Marin does whatever she says she's going to do. And Karine Jean-Pierre, my press secretary. No wonder I'm doing okay.
You're not doing okay.
Justice Jones, a new voice that gives us hope for the future, Justice. And two of the great artists of our time representing the groundbreaking legacy of hip-hop in America, LL Cool J.
LL Cool J. I mean, what is wrong with this dude, man? Is it the coke? Is it the weed? I mean, what's going on? Let me back him up.
By the way, LL Cool J. Groundbreaking legacy of hip-hop in America, LL Cool J. By the way, that man's got biceps bigger than my thighs. I think he's...
You hear him slip?
By the way, that man's got biceps bigger than my thighs. I think he's... And MC Light, both of you, thank you.
Oh, MC Light. Oh, yeah. LL Cool J. That boy needs to get back into my fields. Yeah, you know, that's what he wanted to say. Leave it to Slow Biden, man. He's always good for a good laugh. The joke of the nation, man. The joke of Esau. Live and in effect, man. That dude is out of control. Out of control. But there you have it. Jim Crow Joe slips at the tongue, calls LL Cool J a boy. LL is in his 50s, but he's still a boy in his eyes. But he caught himself real quick. That man, whoops. The Congressional Black Caucus, what? Well, this dude is a disgrace, man. He's disgusting. He's a clown. But I hope he wins the election next year because that'll definitely spell the downfall of America for sure. For sure, man. Yeah, Coab, you hear that? Joe, President Biden, can you hear me? Can you hear me? He's over here playing with the damn thing like it's a toy. He don't know what's going on, man. The dude is completely lost. It's unreal. But, hey, that's how we know, man. America's on a crash course for destruction because he's behind the wheel. All praises. All praises, man. So that's it for your brother, man. I'm going to go ahead and close out and, lock in for the rest of our atonement time over here in the Pacific Northwest in LA, man. It's 5:30. We probably still got another 2.5 hours or so left before that sun is completely down, so it's all good. We're riding it out. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh Shah, man. Blessed atonement for those of you who's in the time zones where it's over for you. I know Bayan is over for you. Jackson is probably over for you. Who else? Kohath, I'm pretty sure you're probably close to being over with. And who else? Who else is in the house that might be out of state? Hey, shalom to Elkanah in the house of Elkanah. Shalom to y'all. I'm not sure who else might be on deck, man. But anyway, that's it for this DSTM. It's 8:27 in Dominican, so the sun's down over there, yeah? I'm assuming so. But all praise to the Most High. Yeah, PM, kind. All right. But yeah, your brother's gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. All praise to the Most High. Why you have a side minutes is going to conclude DSTM episode 236. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. And Most High permit, get with y'all in the very near future. Tabernacles is coming up this Thursday, sundown. 7 days of dwelling in tents or dwelling in booths, dwelling outside of your normal comfort zones, being your i.e. beds, homes, whatever the case may be. Mandatory for all of Israel to partake in that, especially all men. Deuteronomy 16 and the 16th verse says that it is mandatory for all men to partake in it. So we'll be having class and we'll be convening with our brothers at Bow, Believers of the Way, this Thursday. So we won't be having a class on our channel. So tune in over there. And outside of that, what else I got? Anything else to remind anybody of? I think that's it. I might still do like a little, preparatory tabernacle lesson in the event that it might be somebody's first time. Let's see how the spirit moves and my timing moves. This week is going to be kind of busy for me, but we shall see. All right. But other than that, man, y'all be well. Monica, Mama Ka, shalom to you. Continued endurance as we get through this atonement. All praise to the Most High for us even have the ability to do so, man. I'm going to go ahead and slide up out of here, man. Y'all be well. Shalom.